Week 11 action is coming at you hot with Thursday night football as the Seahawks host the Arizona Cardinals at the newly named Lumen Field. What's going on? Jackie Montgomery here with Jen Mueller with your Week 11 key matchups. Jen, another tough divisional matchup with the Arizona Cardinals coming to town. Now, this is the team that handed the Seahawks their first loss of the season, and a big reason for that was second-year quarterback Kyler Murray and the performance he had. Now, how will he match up against a Seattle pass rush that has really come on strong since the last time we faced them back in Week 7?
Well, and if you remember back to that Week 7 matchup, the Seahawks recorded 0 quarterback hits and 0 sacks. And there was a lot of talk after that game about the inability to get to Kyler Murray. But look, there's not a whole lot of teams that are getting to him this year. He has been sacked just 13 times, and on this pace, he would be sacked less than half of the amount that he was sacked last year. Now, Bobby Wagner says part of that is his ability to run and the confidence that he is showing in making good decisions with the ball. Wag said that if you looked at him last year, he just runs out of bounds, and if he was being chased, that's what he would do. This year, he's more confident in being willing to pick up those extra yards and knowing that he is making the right decision. Now, the Cardinals have made it a point to involve him more in the running game, and the results are noticeable. He has accounted for almost 40% of their rushing yards and 10 of their 15 rushing touchdowns. On the flip side of that, the Seahawks defense is the 4th best defense in the league against rushing teams. So we'll see how that one evens out. And there is the benefit of getting a couple of players back, including Jamal Adams, who can help stack the box and give them a tougher front.
Well, now let's talk about Russell Wilson. It was back in Week 7 that the turnover woes really started for him and this team. How will Russell match up against a very aggressive Arizona defense?
Yeah, the Cardinals are blitzing nearly 35% of the time. That is one of the highest percentages in football. It's not just the blitzes, it's also the pressures and the looks that they bring. Pete Carroll said it is on everybody, not just Russell Wilson, not just on the offensive line, to be able to see that and communicate it. Russell this week talked about simplifying things and staying on the same page because that confusion did lead to interceptions last time out. In fact, it was the 3rd and final interception of the game where Arizona brought pressure. It looked like they were going to blitz. They dropped out, and the pass intended for David Moore was intercepted by Isaiah Simmons. So in order to counter that, this time it is about recognition and it is about communication because ball security is at the top of the list for Seattle this week.
And finally, Jen, it's not really a battle we'll see on the field, but more of a battle that we will see on the stat sheet. Who will win the day? Wide receiver DK Metcalf or DeAndre Hopkins, 2 of the best receivers in the league right now?
You're right, Jackie. In fact, those two ranked number 2 and number 3 in the NFL in receiving yards. DeAndre Hopkins also tied for 2nd with most receptions in the league. Now, everybody saw what he did last week against Buffalo, that Hail Mary or Hail Murray pass that everybody's talking about. But that is just a small sampling of what he can do. It is about the yards after catch that Bobby Wagner wants to focus on this week. And that is where he has picked up a significant amount of that yardage that is among the best in the league. It is about sure tackling because you know that he's going to get his catches. In fact, he has been targeted twice as much as any other receiver on that Arizona roster. So Bobby knows the catches are going to come, but the extra yards, they can't be there. And we know that generally he likes to line up on the left side of the offense. That means it is going to be Trey Flowers and any help that comes over the top that gets to have that night against him on Thursday. Now, on the flip side of that, DK Metcalf has been quiet last week and in the last meeting against Arizona. Just 2 catches for 23 yards. Now, part of that is Patrick Peterson, but Brian Schottenheimer said this week there are things that DK can do to take another step in his game when it comes to communicating how to solve the problem and get himself more involved. We will look for that on Thursday because DK and Patrick Peterson, while that was a matchup we focused on, it was Tyler Lockett who produced a huge game in Arizona. 15 catches, 200 yards. He's been hampered by an ankle injury this week, so DK becomes even more important because, as everybody knows, the Seahawks are better when DK is getting the ball.
All right, well, there you have it. This game coming at you hot. Kickoff is set for 5:20 p.m. Pacific. There are all sorts of ways you can watch this one. Q13 Fox, the NFL Network, or Amazon Prime.